Season's greetings, and welcome back to Confused Reviews. It's once again the supremely stressful time of year we're all forced to buy, burden, and bitch around the people we love, hate, and probably both at the same time. It's also that magical moment when we reflect on something less soul-crushing and more in our wheelhouse. End-of-year movie lists. Hooray! 2023, in hindsight, was an extremely interesting showcase of the current state of Hollywood and movies of all persuasions. From several strikes to the Barbenheimer phenomenon, a fifth Indiana Jones flop, a Godzilla awakening, High School Lesbian Fight Club, Scream 6, Saw X, Fast X, Megan Missing, a movie about a coked-up bear dedicated to Ray Liotta, and so many 3-hour ones. Fuck! We got a bunch of absolute bangers, the predictable dumping of trash, and enough sequels, remakes, requels, and retellings to choke even the greediest CEO bigwig. So let's rank and briefly review each of them, from the worst gunk-infested cinematic sewers to some new instant classics, as a little holiday mug of top-shelf booze. Grab your snacks, sips, buddies, and boobies as we take a look back at 2023, the death of Hollywood. Probably not.
Definitely not.
Oh yeah, but that sounds like a better lead-in, doesn't it?
And well, sometimes, yeah.
Also, this current list will inevitably shift around as time goes on, so follow me on Letterboxd if you're interested in watching its evolution and other stuff.
Obligatory disclaimers. The channel didn't nor couldn't feasibly see every goddamn movie that came out in 2023 within the year, and this is just their opinion. If the rankings or ramblings of these two intoxicated Midwesterners isn't up to your snuff, too bad, bitch.
Did you call me intoxicated?
Allegedly finished in 2020, but released in March of this year, the absolute bottom of the barrel shit I saw was another repetitive, boring, and bad remake of a Stephen King story since we're in the second King-assance.
Ooh, I like Stephen King.
It's the 11th one of these. Need I say more? Blech. More like analog horrible. If you haven't seen this hollow waste of pixels, let me sum up the grueling runtime.
You can't hide. Can't hide from me.
Was it a first-person found footage?
Yeah, it was, but like, even in Blair Witch, which is known as boring, like, stuff happens.
I want your soul.
Only watched this one after a lightning-fast recommendation, and all I can say was, it was nice to finally get a Jack Frost 3.
What crap came out this year so far?
Tuned in for the leading love triangle, unappealing and forgettable. I don't want to say I hated this movie because in my current enlightened state, I don't like saying I hate any movie, no matter how pathetic or fucking garbage. Because who the fuck am I? But I hated Ant-Man 3. Duh, Bugman make the big man go bye-bye.
To jail.
This felt so much like Attack of the Clones in all the wrong ways. I think it might be the worst movie I've ever seen, and that's only like 6% hyperbole. I cannot believe how awful it all looked, sounded, structured, and pissed right in the viewer's eyes. And I haven't even mentioned the major elephant in the room, but since I'm not some 6-hour video essay asshole, I'll leave this $200 million disaster with this. Unless Deadpool 3 is a giant hit, this one killed the MCU.
Oh, fuck.
Every culture, every religion, they all use different methods. It's going to take all of them.
There's a rumor on IMDb that I'm involved with the new version of The Exorcist. This isn't a rumor. It's a flat-out lie. There's not enough money or motivation in the world to get me to do this.
William Friedkin, director of The Exorcist, December 17th, 2020. I cannot fathom this movie's existence, disrespect, and seeming... Holy shit. I cannot fathom this movie's existence, disrespect, and seeming vendetta against being even moderately not a session of dragging your kneecaps across cement. Universal satanically forked over $400 million for the mere rights to the original masterpiece's namesake. And our only hope is that it flopped so angelically we won't get any more for a couple decades.
Did you say Satan?
Shout out to Ellen Burstyn for pazuzuing all over the producers' faces, and I'm morbidly thankful neither William Friedkin or William Peter Blatty are around to see this fucking sacrilege. A lukewarm,
That's your name, dude.
Hulu Redbox Aftershock your wacky uncle will certainly have seen. Seriously, the demos who still rent DVDs are a big contributing factor to why you see these random movies come and go every year with horribly photoshopped posters of aging movie stars that, spoiler alert, are only in the damn thing for usually 3 scenes and never in frame with anyone else. This one is especially painful as it's not only one of the last appearances from childhood hero of mine, Bruce Willis, sandwiched into a cookie-cutter crime story with a hammy John Travolta performance and directed by Chuck Russell, the guy who made both The Mask and Elm Street 3, the best Freddy movie, now succumbed to directing this turd. Now that most of Christopher Robin's friends from the 100 Acre Woods have crossed that dreaded public domain threshold, it didn't take any time at all before Pooh and his pals' Ripe IP was cut into a cheap slasher flick, baby.
Not Tigger yet. He's still on lockdown until 2024.
Oi, the bear's killing us, bruv. Yellow Submarine, crumpets and tease nuts. I've already forgotten the movie except the Anthony Ramos, Pete Davidson Iron Man Transformer in the climax being
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge, skank, terrible. But thank you. It means a lot.
That's not even mentioning the insane sequel bait where the G.I. Joes are teased for a future team-up. Make that movie, you fucking cowards. Son of the CGI Mask is a flick I'm still surprised even saw the light of day, considering how many years I read article after article documenting its delay, second delay, third and fourth delays, and the 1,000 reshoots that balloon this bad boy into one of the biggest money-burning budgets in Hollywood history. I'm sure the numbers are still being massively fudged to look less embarrassing somehow. On top of Ezra Miller's fan-slamming shenanigans, the best Batman and Michael Keaton returning to the tights was a comeback that not one single person gave a flying fucksicle about.
Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
I could spaz out like 2 Barry Allens forever about what a weird, wasted mess The Flash really was, but worst of all is that since the DCEU is on its way out anyway, nobody cared, and its despicable grave-robbing of actors, horrendous visuals, and pandering attempts at multiverse shit that took so long to hit theaters, it's now been done bigger and way, way, way better. Nah, this one sucked. My only note was I want Lucy Liu to take me out, either to dinner or death. It is funny to me that The Rock was such a big bouldering baby about Black Adam's hierarchy of power.
The hierarchy of power
in the DC universe is about to change.
That they had to invent these random bad bitches to have Shazam fight instead, only adding to this movie's mundaneness. Sorry crew, don't expect to see this snazzy shazzy on the silver screezy anytime soon. NFL propagranny? I brainstormed a sport with the rules and regulations of regular football, but where elderly people are the players. Now that's the next billion-dollar idea. Nobody write that down. Jason Statham blasting a gun cycle like a Pro Skater 3 move was deliciously dumb. See you in 2031 for Expendables 5, because your boy will be there opening night. I made a full review of this one already, and it's maddening middle-aged microwaved seconds. So check that one out, dudes. Another alright indie flick shoved into 5 other movies that's 45 minutes too long, not nearly as engaging as the other 4, and got dangerously close to another Harrison Ford revived Disney character that they did recently. I also smell a reshot ending as the final 5 of this one has astronomical, okay we're all done now bye bye vibes to it. For me, the opening World War II sequence was the highlight, with the CGI indie conglomerate looking solid, aside from a few shots, lip-syncing errors, and the obvious sound of Ford's gruff growls. I'd have preferred a whole movie in that style at this point, and simply shoot around it with low lighting Indiana's instantly known for. Ford was tremendous and deserves that opening 80-year-old man ab shot. The man clearly loves this role, and since he hates acting, it's always surreal to see him show up and try. It did get to the point where seeing the man out of time battling 1969 while still rocking the costume while not being able to even fist fight the heavy was just kinda sad. The third act is absolutely amazing. I'm not even joking. Silly, spoilery schlock I ate up. I loved seeing my friend Indy one more time as a sad, cynical elderly man as myself a sad, cynical adult. 15 years after the last time I thought it was his final hurrah. Even if this one wasn't the final triumph we knew we weren't ever getting. Goodbye, Dr. Jones. Until they make another one in 3 years.
Give 'em hell, Indiana Jones!
Maybe the real twist was the friends we made along the way. Just a middle-of-the-road, attention-keeping Sunday Shyamalan movie you can half-watch while folding laundry or scrolling through my other videos. Unhinged caginess. Seeing Nicolas Cage dressed like Mr. Heat Miser and torturing Rick Flag sounds like a dream you'd have after a few too many fireball mules, but I assure you, this is a real movie. In the build-up to this animated adaptation of the world's most famous Italian stereotypes not associated with gabagool guns, seeing it was another Illumination venture had my expectations sink right next to the hot liquidy core of the Earth's center. But it was surprisingly fine. Not great, not terrible, perfectly fine for kids and parents to have on repeat for the next 30 years right next to...
Don't forget to include current kids show into script.
I'm cautiously curious to see what they might do with another Pratt picture featuring the Mario Brothers, and I genuinely thought Larry David voiced Cranky Kong.
Oh, come on, it's enough already. I can't hear a thing.
Bring in Danny DeVito as Wario, or I'ma burn it down on Nintendo's headquarters. The original House Party is a kid-and-play cult classic that I watched so much as a kid I almost exploded out of my shoes when I was walking out of the theater at the start of this year and I saw this poster ripped right out of the trash next to Animal House and Grandma's Boy. It wasn't anything super memorable, and using LeBron James's house as a location takes the everyday fun and feel of the original for a more bombastic and fantastical remake.
Shit, we done fucked up the koala.
I was a FNAF fanatic at one time. We all go through phases, it'll pass for you too. So I enjoyed how good the location and animatronics looked, also including Golden Freddy with William Afton, and not explaining any of that shit to general audiences was a wild choice. Everyone's favorite Scream screenwriters back in the Kleenex with a new snot-filled cinematic booger that wasn't even remotely a headache. I think that's enough jokes about being sick, aside from me being down with the sickness, because come on, it's too easy. Yeah, what's up, dick? Weird when completed movies are completely canned, especially for legacy IPs, including DC characters. But unlike Batgirl, this one was leaked onto the world. Stop making stuff and then not releasing it. If The Flash made it to theaters, this should have too. Very cute little comedy with Woody Harrelson as a down-and-out basketball coach and Caitlin Olsen being a bird or something, I don't know.
You look like a bird lady covered in bird shit eating cake.
D, slow down.
Yeah.
All right.
But all the players were adorable and a lot of fun to watch and made the crew easy to root for. I'm not a huge sports guy, but I'm a sucker for sports movies like this. Clever title about the plot of the movie, it's a run-of-the-mill courtroom drama with a funky flair from Jamie Foxx, who crushes this one, and Tommy Lee Jones in another fitting old man making faces of death performance. Saw this in a packed theater with a bunch of friends, and everyone had a blast. It's not going in the Library of Congress for cultural significance, and I guarantee if I watched it again, I'd like it a lot less. But I'll choose to hold off for now for a rainy day when I'm ready to hate the universe a little bit more. If they do make Cocaine Bear 2, Squirrels on Speed, and Raccoon Smuggling Angel Dust, must have more of the Cocaine Bear in it. I adored Brandon Cronenberg's previous movie Possessor, and while I personally found Infinity Pool to be a massive step down in quality and story...
What are you doing in there, James? Huh?
For some reason, I don't have any negatives to say.
Where do you think you're going, you little baby?
Just kind of stayed engaged with it the whole time. No, it's got nothing to do with the fact that Mia Goth is insanely beautiful, and I'm immensely attracted to her and hope she'll hit me up. Why do you ask?
Nobody did.
A wild trip of a movie I think about almost weekly now. It's like if a wine mom directed a James Gunn written episode of The Sopranos, Toni Collette becoming the Don of a certain organized family that doesn't officially exist, of course. It was a fun plot and had some neat violence and characters. Salud to all my fellow pasta people and meatball maniacs. Uf maron. A weird, confused little movie with more tonal shifts than a bipolar werewolf, not since Superman has a Nick Cage casting felt so natural with Count Dracula. Nick Holt was good too, and I'm sure I'll forget about this movie in a week and then think it's a fake memory fever dream for the rest of my life.
How many Nick Cage movies are on this list?
He's in a lot of films. It's about family, and that's why the budget was $340 million. Jason Momoa channeling Jared Leto's Joker, cosplaying a gay pirate versus the Revengers in the latest family drama where the word family was uttered, I believe, a staggering 21 times, was everything I wanted.
Yeah.
Loved every second. If they simply refuse to stop making these until Vinny Unleaded is in another four-wheeled NOS machine in a nursing home somewhere, I say hit the gas on the crazy until they're fighting Power Rangers villains and traveling the cosmos and shit. I can assure you I had several hard feelings watching this one. I'm glad J-Law was all in on the insaneness of this wacky comedy. Yay. Oh, fuck! The most 1994 action movie with a good lead in my favorite Cobra Kai protege, Zolo Maridueña, form-fitted into a blueberry iron spider suit and forced into the most generic superhero plot that would have played a lot better, like 11 and a half years ago. Oh, and George Lopez's crazy Uncle Rudy character stole the movie, and it's awesome they clearly knew what a score it was to get Lopez and had him right alongside the action the whole time. You also know if this movie was made 30 years ago, he would have played BB. Dad movie of the century. A nice, cozy little story to add to the never-ending pile of product pictures that's a current trend right now for some reason. They made one about, like, the Hot Cheetos, they did Tetris, like, a bunch of movies I didn't watch this year, but...
Weird.
Matt Damon shines as the lead, and the rest of the A-listers understand the assignment too. I do find it monumentally funny that the movie paints Nike as this little mom-and-pop underdog when they signed Michael Jordan. Slam dunk empathy play, corporate America. Holy Freud, Ari Aster! Cool it with the mommy issues! I firmly believe his freshman effort, Hereditary, is one of the greatest horror movies of the last 20 years, and while Midsommar isn't quite as tasty, it was still a really solid and haunting movie. But this third shot just didn't connect with me or pack the same greasy punches as the last two. It's a surrealist comedy riddled with themes of grief, guilt, and regret, and the kind of bizarre, artsy crap I usually like diving into, for better or worse. I appreciate Aster's fuck it, let's go for it approach with this one. It's got a lot to say, sure, but I guess I don't care to listen. And the superbly strong first 40 minutes whittles down to a 3-hour finish that left me irritated and uninvested. It's still very funny, well-made, and visualizes that anxious, on-the-go part of life perfectly. Everything up to the play scenario was so crazy I was massively let down from the movie moving forward. Bo is afraid, Bo is controlled, Bo is a paranoid, delusional pushover, and I wish Astor put a better bow on this flick. You get it? The home invasion thrills of Hush with a sprinkle of Signs, Fire in the Sky, and A Quiet Place. This was another late night, low expectation watch that surprised the alien goo out of me.
Feels like cum. Oh, fuck, it feels like cum! What? He's a fucking alien!
You stay the fuck back, Jamarcus!
Not only for its approach and minimal dialogue, but fun twist on an extremely polluted subgenre. Aliens. My only real negative is that the aliens have this vast technology that can do whatever the story needs, but this one girl can still outrun them constantly. E.T. Phone Home Alone? Huh? Hey, I'm stabbing here, or whatever Ghostface says in this one. All my notes read were, Nev Campbell is the shit, I love her, and she's the final girl. So that's clearly, that's not the right one. Oh, fuck. The Killer's one of those movies that'll be remembered a lot like its title, very infrequently by even fewer, solely because it sounds and reminds moviegoers of other films. Fassbender always impresses, and I liked some of the messages, but if only they bended the pace into something faster.
Not for crying out loud.
Man, They Can't All Die First was fucking wasted as the tagline and not the title, dooming its longevity almost immediately. Which is a double nut kick, as I found this one consistently funny as it uses tropes of the cookie-cutter slasher to explore social taboos and poke fun at them. The same stuff horror has done forever, yet another reason it's the best genre. I guess The Killer too, because I'm practically a detective, bitch.
Yeah.
That's too DMX. What are you doing?
Modern female Marty McFly taking on Max Headroom's Billy Idol Ghostface alongside her teenage mom and friends is the kind of slasher I put in the same upper echelon of excellence as a nice cool glass of icy water and Salma Hayek in a swimsuit. Back to the Future is already my all-time favorite flick, so this one is a must-watch for fans of those who always wondered how he'd fare if Jason Voorhees was tossed into the mix. Tape, because of the 80s. I know the entire movies from a computer POV subgenre is divisive as fuck and varies from intriguing to utter ass cancer. However, I enjoyed 2018's Searching, and this second standalone sophomore sleuther might have been even better. I don't want to reveal anything else because it works better going in with a dead battery, so to speak. And if I were to give this one a fake title, it'd be Wi-Fi Johnson's Glass Rectangle, a macked out mystery. I just want to say that Annabelle is a dumb little bitch, and I'm glad she's all but fucked off.
Roasted.
So I was delighted this doll was a big hit, on top of being the kind of movie I want 19 more of. And I think this robotic rascal is only 1 or 2 sequels away from the modern horror Rushmore. I did not read the book, because I guarantee at that time in my life I was knee-deep in Goosebumps and Goosebumps alone, but I watched this film for the reasons of Rachel McAdams, loving coming-of-age movies, and Rachel McAdams. Abby Fortson crushes the lead role, and her naive navigation of the world through expressions and voiceovers was simple and smooth. Kathy Bates is always a welcomed addition to the cast as well, and I can see any young girl relating to its timeless themes gift-wrapped in 70s music and decor. I only watched to imagine the 2 leads were Canadian versions of Dennis and Mac from Always Sunny in an alternate universe, and it didn't disappoint.
I'm from Waterloo, where the vampires hang out!
The Sorry Network, eh? may in fact be the magnum opus of the sequels. Making John Kramer Batman was an excellent choice.
The entire movie was a beautiful rendition of what everything that Saw 3D should have been. You're welcome. Go watch it. Fuck you.
Directors John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein rolled a nat 20 on this fun, energetic, and reverent tale of Dungeons & Dragons. That game the kids from Stranger Things play in the scenes you look down at your phone at until the spooky monsters or Mama Steve comes back on screen.
Okay, so first of all, it was laid out in a standard D&D one-shot adventure. It was so good. I had so much fun. Back to Luke.
Yup, stab more of these into my veins. Ones with Deadites in Alaska, where they attack cowboys in the Wild West, go up against the Vikings, or a group of eccentric characters locked in a White Castle, having to put aside their differences in order to stop this ancient evil. I'll review this one in depth eventually, so I'm still placing this one pretty high, and I'm glad to say the Evil Dead series' spotless record is still shiny. Or bloody?
Very bloody.
And pukey.
I forgot about the puke.
Yeah. First flick in a while to give those amazingly chilly Halloween vibes that movies like Halloween and Trick or Treat give me. It was really...
What the fuck is this movie?
Oh, right. It came out the same day as Barbenheimer. So yeah, didn't do too hot. It's about a young kid who keeps hearing a voice from inside his bedroom wall. One that his folks, who are just as mysteriously sinister, says is all in his dumb little kid brain.
Idiot.
And that's all I'll say. Turn out the lights and enjoy all the spooky October atmosphere. Always loved the Turtles, and this new entry was a lot of fun, mainly in the world building and instantaneous charm the four brothers share. They're perfectly irritating through their overlapped lines and realistic banter. It all looks like a sketchbook come to life, and the visuals more than make up for a relatively familiar plot. Plus, they score Jackie Chan as Splinter, so you shouldn't need much more convincing.
You ratted us out! Hey! Don't use that word that way.
I'm more of a King Kong guy myself, but I really liked this one. Oh god, there he is! Oh fuck! Old Creepy Cruise is at it again with another incredible display of physical fuckery and spectacular stunts in the 7th one of these things that I saw twice on the big screen and was enthralled with both times. The thing dragging this one down was the story wasn't as strong as my favorite of the bunch, Fallout, last time, and it's also a two-parter. So we'll have to check back next time to see if Tommy Too Fast will save the world with that dastardly key and the dame with the double D's, Haley Atwell, in Death Wish 8, Murder on the IMF Express.
Are you talking about her boobs?
Massive fan of Balboa and his bounty of boxing bullshit. Even Rocky V. But even I was a bit weary to see another movie in this universe not featuring Stallone's signature slurring. So I'm happy to report the tremendously talented Michael B. Jordan swung for the fences, both in front of and behind the camera. He not only juggled directing this one, and being beefy enough to fight some major moron, but reportedly infused influence from anime in the fight scenes, leading to a heavy stylized final act that I fucking adored. The way the arena clears out so it's just the two titans sparring alone in the dark is the best summation of that aspect of combat sports put to screen. I really like the story, having Adonis's syndrome to his Mr. Incredible returning for revenge as a spicy turn I didn't expect. I fully anticipated Clubber Lang's nephew or Tommy Gunn's goldfish or some shit. And may I point out the irony about Jonathan Major's character being released from prison with our new Kangless hindsight.
Whoops.
The moment this one opened with a 2001 homage, I knew we were in for a hot pink treat. I could go on for hours about what an unprecedented phenomenon this movie wound up being, and you can imagine my cartoonish grin all summer seeing the masses come together to go out to the theaters and see not one, but two movies. Margot Robbie is... come on, she's Barbie.
Hi, Barbie!
Hi, Ken. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
And really, this was just a Ken movie in disguise, letting Ryan Gosling use his good looks and even better comedic chops to do some of the funniest deliveries in modern cinema.
Could you just hold on for 1 second?
Oh, okay.
Sublime!
I loved the set design and all the attention to detail throughout Barbie Land, the Ken working sign being a personal favorite. It'd probably have been in the top 5 if it didn't take a 5-minute pit stop at the end to explain the themes to the audience like we're too fucking stupid to understand what's being said. It was a consistently funny, billion-dollar blockbuster that proves Barbie's now a bigger draw than Batman for Warner Brothers. Get ready for sequels. A high school lesbian fight club comedy that felt like it was made in 2006.
Did you say lesbians?
Not because of its contents, but willingness to be offensive, gross, and say some of the most out-of-pocket shit since Freddy got fingered. Therefore, you already know I ate this up like carpet. I'm sorry.
What the fuck?
Check this one out, respectfully, because the finale had me cackling in hysterics. Eli Roth's once fake trailer from the equally gory Grindhouse in 2007, which was shown before Planet Terror and personal favorite Death Proof, has finally become a full-fledged film and will now become a new November tradition. With John Carver donning the mask and funny hat, he's already cut his way into the hearts of horror fans with the slasher that felt ripped right out of the year 1981. Again, I'm not referring to its setting, but in terms of when these slice and dice flicks were brutal and really mean-spirited. You know, before Jason started using electric guitars as weapons, for instance. There are no leftovers, except there will be, since Thanksgiving 2 is already in the oven, turkeys. The Bear continues to impress, and I loved Season 2. Dave is chugging along as another underrated gem, House of Usher was good, but Midnight Mass is still goated, The Last of Us really slapped, Gen V was super fun, and Beef was one of the best bits of TV I've ever witnessed, and I beyond recommend. The surprising second great movie that released dead on arrival as a Barbenheimer casualty. I've been guerrilla marketing this unique movie to people in my personal life since July, because I know 8 people have seen it on Netflix.
What has happened?
Hey, G, this shit fucked up. They out here cloning this. What the fuck going on in this bitch?
That's right, that is the prevailing theory.
I'm sure it'll get a resurgence in a few years as some underground cult classic, or at least a guy can dream. Afro-surrealism plus sci-fi plus pimp Jamie Foxx equals Happy Luke.
Oh, shit! Who this motherfucker did?
Okay, we ain't got no time for no negativity. Go give me some goddamn wet that something. Let's go.
The most emotionally engaging trilogy about an abused, genetically modified raccoon that wrapped up wonderfully in an action-packed finale that says farewell to the best team of space heroes since Star Wars.
Kill a few people.
Kill no people.
Kill one guy, one stupid guy who no one loves.
Now you're just making it sad.
Keep kicking ass, James Gunn. Childhood love, regret and anger, what ifs. Love can be the worst. The leading duo have such magnetic chemistry that you'd think they were long-lost lovers. Also, it had the guy who played young Silvio in the mini stinks of Newark. Whatever happened there?
Shoot him. Whatever happened there?
God rest his soul.
I'll tell you what fucking happened. Fuck you.
As warm as burning your finger on a holiday campfire log, this one had an outstanding leading trio, feeling all of their pain and torment for different reasons. It's got an equally entertaining script that will snuggle up nicely alongside other holiday classics that'll make you laugh and hurt in all the ways that time of year are notorious for. Give Paul Giamatti his Oscar, damn it!
You know, Mr. Kuntz, for most people, life is like a henhouse ladder, shitty and short.
Scary Movie of the Year undoubtedly goes to the unnecessarily, unrelentingly unsettling Talk to Me. I begged a crew of people to go see this one solely based on the poster and it being A24. I know, fuck me. And they were all hesitant since it appeared on the surface to be your run-of-the-mill, boring horror shit show. In fact, this movie shares a plot too close to Ouija for my liking, and still managed to subvert all the generic tropes to craft a movie that made me legit lightheaded. Thought I was gonna pass out watching a part of this, I swear to God.
Jeez.
I had also been drinking, but, that's probably unrelated.
Yes.
The Filippo brothers, who I ironically remember huddling around a computer with my friends to watch their amazing Raka Raka channel over a decade ago, whipped up their first full movie oozing with talent and creative scares that could only come from an imagination as wild as theirs. I also didn't even realize these twin tunes directed it until after. It's visually fantastic, fresh and freaky as can be, with themes of teenage troubles that have stuck with me like a bad demonic leech. Me during the whole damn thing.
That was totally wicked!
A badass odyssey of biblical proportions, it gives a swan song to the best modern action behemoth, and Keanu Reeves and company lay it all out there in a monument to action cinema that closes in on being almost 3 hours long. Each installment has a compounding feel about it that continues to improve and expand on this sleek and grimy world built over 4 films. This one's for Lance Riddick, and here's to the hopes they will finally let John Wick have his piece. Everything Arachnid All at Once is such a beautifully captivating cartoon, literally bursting at the seams with creativity and character for an iconic hero worthy of so many different variants. Gwen continues to shine with her struggle to balance her different lives, and Miles' development shows why he's not just another Spider-Man. He successfully paved his own path from Peter Parker before him, and his strive to do so is illustrated with such finesse here. The only aspect holding it back from really being better than Into the Spider-Verse is simply that it just halts the brakes to lead into the second half in a way that just doesn't feel as earned as something like The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it keeps getting delayed, though.
Got all my fingers, toes, and balls crossed, hoping that Beyond the Spider-Verse sticks the webby landing. As large as the mankind-killing weapon it tells the heartbreaking story of constructing, Oppenheimer was the other half of the double feature that was the depressed, chain-smoking yin to Barbie's bright yang. And the movie keeps that larger-than-life explosiveness, I just couldn't help myself, throughout the 3-hour epic, even during infinite, unbroken scenes in boardrooms and storage closets. Cillian Murphy encapsulates J. Robert Oppenheimer's look of utter fucking horror and despair, famous from this clip.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
And Robert Downey Jr.'s malice and hateful performance really clicked. Everyone else was bombastically great, but for me, seeing Jack Quaid, Josh Peck, and the guy who played Roderick all in one movie may never be topped. See this one on the biggest and loudest screens and speakers you can. Martin Scorsese delivers a gargantuan film that demonstrates the atrocities bestowed upon the Osage people during the 1920s. In again, a 3.5-hour runtime that really lets things sink in from an emotional standpoint. Lily Gladstone strides through the movie with a quiet elegance that was simply breathtaking, and her entire demeanor embodies that strong, silent type.
You talk too much.
Robert De Niro playing an unsuspecting little old man, meanwhile being the meanest monster of all, was portrayed— I don't need to explain this to you, it's Robert fucking De Niro. And Leo DiCaprio's constant frown and blue-eyed charm fit his coyote character really well. I only wonder what this would have looked like if Jesse Plemons and Leo swapped parts.
There was no mention of the murders.
Bravo, Marty. This is one I'll be revisiting often. Another excellent wrestling tragedy that showcases the brutality and grit required for an otherwise silly sport that's held down perfectly by Zac Efron's performance, alongside his brothers and slimy pageant mom father, Fritz von Erich. Every person in this thing absolutely demolished it, notably Jeremy Allen White, who I'll always know most as Lip, putting in 150% as a tragic character that has as hard a downfall as he has muscle mass. Holden McCallany is so good that one line he delivered in particular had me so fucking mad I was white-knuckling so hard I thought my bones were gonna burst out of my hands. The real-life Von Erich curse is beyond horrific, to the point the movie almost seems overly fictionalized at times, without even mentioning the other brother Chris, whose existence is omitted entirely. I don't watch wrestling, I don't care about wrestling, and I didn't even know about the Von Erich Shakespearean tragedy until I researched them after seeing this. The Iron Claw will be crashing around my head like the move itself for years to come, and is my favorite flick from 2023. Be sure to let me know how much you loved or completely disagreed with the list, being sure to include what a giant retarded fuckwad I am, or it being different from yours. I'm Confused Reviews, and thanks for watching.